So it's pretty rough this offseason when Everson Griffen said his goodbyes, very heartfelt and really lengthy and really awesome goodbye to the fans and the team after a decade here in purple. Because it did seem like after Everson, he hit a couple of statistical plateaus in his contract, opted out, was going to hit free agency. There you go. And Vikings kind of rebooting, rebuilding on defense, etc. But here's the thing. What if I told you that the door between the Vikings and Everson wasn't completely closed? It was just open just a little bit. There you go. But and I can hear it now. But Everson said on Instagram that he was leaving. Yeah, like that's legally binding. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you use up like two brain cells. Like just put them together, rub them together, sheeple. I mean, let's go here. But here's the thing too. Vikings have not formally said goodbye to Everson Griffen on social media and or the team website yet, like they have with every other free agent that is left. So I think that door is still open, just slightly ajar, because let's go through what we know right now. So his agent said this. Griffin's agent, Brian Murphy, told NFL Network's Tom Pelissero the following regarding his client's status on the open market. Quote, we have broken off talks with Minnesota because they have to spend their money elsewhere. We've decided to now focus on our attention on free agency, end quote. So what the quote says, that there was talks, that there was actually talks to bring Everson back. It wasn't the Vikings were like, we are not bringing Everson back at any price point. We're not doing it. You were gone. Peace, deuces. We're moving on. Done. Dude, get out of here. It wasn't like that. And also, Zimmer at the Combine said that he expected Everson Griffen to be back. And you think that he would be relatively in the know what was going on with the contracts of some of his veteran players. You would think, right? But also, I do think that Everson's goodbye was genuine. I think his agent went to Everson and is like, well, Minnesota, off the table. We're hitting free agency. So I actually think that Everson isn't using this cynically as like a negotiation ploy. Now, his agent might be. But, of course, that's the agent's job to do what's in the best interest of his client. Because that agent's comment reads like a very snippy, I mean, we're taking our ball and going home. Vikings spending money elsewhere. But the Vikings, even though, yes, they did spend a little bit of money in free agency, they still have the cap space to potentially bring Everson Griffen back. So, and also circumstances change. I mean, 2 weeks ago, when those messages and when those quotes came from, hey, it seemed like Everson could have a really decent market. Maybe he'll hit a nice little deal like Cameron Wake in Tennessee a couple years ago. What was it, 3 years? Like $7-8 million per for a pass rusher that is getting up there in years, but still has some tread on the tire. But now, I mean, 2 weeks in free agency, Everson still hasn't been signed, even though Everson, since he opted out, does not factor into the compensatory pick formula. So a team that signs Everson doesn't have that dinged against them. I mean, and also there hasn't been any serious flirtation except for him and Seattle. And it does look like Seattle and Clowney are sort of coming together. And I get the talk, while Everson's just waiting for other dominoes to fall, like waiting for Clowney to sign. Even though Clowney and Everson at various stages of their career, not going to be in the same, neighborhood in terms of money, if you catch my drift. But I mean, maybe his market is pretty tepid out there. Like maybe teams are just waiting for the draft to see what happens there. And perhaps it's unfortunate, but maybe teams are still concerned about his mental health issues causing him miss time in 2018. And also, where did he have the best support system? Right here in Minnesota. So maybe that does circle around a little bit. And also, I mean, the Vikings offer, maybe it is still on the table. Maybe it's pulled. Who really knows? But maybe the two sides realize that this is the best that they can get for this free agency cycle. Maybe they run it back on a 1-year deal with incentives. Everson maybe proves it again. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's a free agency next year and just goes from there. But I could easily see Everson being a free agent until after the draft. I mean, teams see what they can do, see if they can add some edge help. Also, same thing with the Vikings. Like maybe they do go Espinenza or Gross Matos or Chason if he falls to 22 early on in the draft, and then door completely closed there. But say if the Vikings come away from the draft without significant edge help, and they circle back to Everson, which I would not be mad at all, because I still believe that Everson has multiple years of playing at a high level, and this defense still needs leadership because they're shed a lot of veterans on this defense over this offseason. And also, if you have Everson back, that would free up Fadi to do what he did great last year, was kicking inside on passing downs and be really disruptive. Or conversely, Everson could kick inside if Fadi is ready to start and ready to rock and roll, right? So Everson could come back and take that later career Brian Robinson type role where, hey, where do you need me, coach? Edge, inside, linebacker, whatever, I'm in. I'm here to help this team, help lead the squad and move forward like that. So keep hope alive. I think there is a chance, maybe not a big chance, that both sides will realize that after free agency, after the draft, like, hey, we're better together. Let's run this back for another season, and we'll go from there. But what are your thoughts? Everson Griffen potentially return to the Vikings? Question mark? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull production value.